So the MSc Organizational Psychology is an MSc program accredited by the British Psychological Society. It's targeted essentially at individuals who are interested in the world of work, the psychology of work, and we explore a whole range of questions in terms of, well, what does, say, well-being at work mean? What motivates us in the workplace? What do we mean by careers? How do we develop careers? And a whole range of other things around also more critical things such as where does knowledge come from? How do we understand the things that we understand at work? How do we analyze data? And basically, how do we make sense of the world of work?
We like to help people to learn about their critical thinking through the current research evidence and how to apply these theories we learn in the class back to the workplace in the future.
I think for me, still the best part was the challenge from the tutors, from the lecturers. That kind of, constant, okay, you think you've got it, let's up it a stake and prove to you haven't got it. And let's change the worldview and have a look at it in a completely different way to just totally throw you at times. And I think back now, I'm better at what I do because of that. Not necessarily because they taught me a load of models or a load of learning, but because they turned my thinking upside down and inside out and challenged it in every direction that they could.
I've loved the course. The breadth of topics, the lectures, the lecturers themselves are interesting, engaging, and have a great deal of professional experience.
So the MSc Organizational Psychology, we offer two different ways that you can engage with the program. One is our evening learning, and that happens 6 to 9 o'clock on our London campus in Bloomsbury on a number of weeknights across the week. And then the second approach is to do it what we call network learning or distance learning, where you can engage in the program from the comforts of your own home or wherever you might be. And that essentially is not only distance learning, but it also offers you a lot more flexibility in terms of how you might want to engage with the program.
But put everything online, so you don't have to go and find the articles yourself, or the supplementary information, or the information about courses or exams. It's all there and everything's recorded. And I had to do that all for myself when I did my first degree. So to have that resource was brilliant.
So the network learning program is essentially a distance learning program, but we call it blended learning because at the start of every term, all our students on this program will come together for 3 days in London. And actually, this is one of the highlights of the program because we spent 3 intensive and tiring and long days together, but it's a great opportunity to socialize, to get to know each other, to network, but also to go through a lot of content that we are going to be covering for that term and essentially to set us up for the discussions for that subsequent term. Within that term, most of the learning will happen through recorded lectures, which you'll have on a weekly basis, but discussions also carry on. So discussions are not live, but they happen through a text-based discussion forum over a period of a week that you'll be discussing questions, content, case studies that kind of come out and arise from the readings and also for the lecture. But because these discussions are essentially asynchronous, so that means that they're not tied to any specific time point. So that gives you a lot of flexibility over the course of the week as to when, where, and how you want to engage. So that, of course, fits if you're in a different time zone, for example, if you're having to do a lot of travel for work, or you've got commitments at home with the family. Essentially, it gives you just a lot more flexibility.
I loved the content of what we were learning. I have genuinely made some lifelong friends who I know, will be friends in decades to come. And I was really impressed with the tutors, the lecturers, our program directors who were just so supportive and so energetic and had a real love of the topic as well. So their enthusiasm sort of rubbed off. So all in all, as you can tell, I love the course, loved it doing it at Birkbeck, and loved the whole experience.
The course has enabled me to change the work I do and work at a different level, because it enables me to have very different conversations with people now than I would have 3-4 years ago.